Hey guys, this is Sebastian. Welcome to another segment of Building Your Wealth in Under 5 Minutes. Today we're going to be going over exactly the steps that you need to be taking and how you need to be looking at your budget in the right way. Now, before we go ahead and get started, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you need to do. Just make sure you go to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Yes, guys, how you heard it. Your parents have been teaching you this the wrong way your entire life. They've been telling you how to build a budget, and unfortunately, many people nowadays are building a budget in the incorrect way. You see, the first thing that you need to start doing before you even start thinking about how much you should start spending on your car and your home and your light bill and all these things is exactly how much should you be paying yourself every single month before you start spending money. And I think the number one reason why people do not build wealth is because they don't have an automated system to make sure that they're saving and investing every single month. So you see, each and every one of us should be saving anywhere between 10 to maybe 20, 30, maybe even 40% on a monthly basis. There's an entire separate video if you want to go ahead and watch that explains exactly how much you should be saving specifically for investment purposes. Now, this video is not about how to save and how to invest. This video is mainly about how to budget. So the two things that you need to be looking at when you're building a budget after you've already started saving and paying yourself every single month is the first thing you need to look at is what are your survival expenses. Now, what do I mean by survival expenses? You see, every single one of us, we all need a specific amount of money every single month to survive, whether it's your car payment, your insurance, your mortgage, your rent expense. I mean, all of your expenses. What is that dollar amount? You see, the average individual in the United States or the average household in the United States needs about $3,200 every single month to be able to survive. That means just to be able to pay the bare necessities. That does not include something that are called luxuries. And that is my second point. The second point is you need to figure out how much is it that you need for your luxury expenses, right? How much do you spend a year on traveling? How much do you spend a year on shopping? How much do you spend on buying gifts for your family, for your kids, for the people around you? How much are you spending on those things? You see, those things are called luxuries. Those aren't really necessities. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You see, for example, we all might have a look at filet mignon as a necessity as far as needing food to be able to eat. I mean, yes, we need food, but do we really need to be eating filet mignon and lobster? Probably not. And that's where you have to figure out the difference between how much is it that you need to survive. So, survival expenses for food might just be rice and beans.
We got to get these beans.
But when it comes to like other expenses, then you have to figure out, okay, what are my luxury expenses? And you see the average family spends about $1,800 on a monthly basis on what's called luxury expenses. Now, you see, you might be thinking, but Sebastian, in my case, I probably live in a different city, a different town, a different state. That means maybe my luxury expenses aren't that high or my survival expenses aren't that high. Obviously, you have to figure out what is it that you need to survive, and then you have to figure out what are your luxury expenses. And you see the average family needs about $5,000 per month just to be able to pay the survival bills as well as the luxury bills. So the way that you build the budget the correct way is you have to break off both of those. Now, this is the reason why building a budget is so critical. If you do not build the budget, you will not know how much money you need to be able to live on every single month. And one of the biggest things that we're always talking about is how much money do you need to have saved up in investments? What's that total wealth so that bucket, that wealth that you've built for 10, 20, 30 years can actually kick you out your $5,000 lifestyle expenses. And that is the reason why you need to start making sure that you're saving and investing and building up that bucket, because that's the bucket that you're going to need to be able to kick out these $5,000 to be able to pay those survival and those luxury expenses. So if you want to make sure that you figure out what is this number, break these two numbers down. Break down your survival expenses, break down your luxury expenses. Once you know those numbers, now you're going to know exactly how much money you need on a monthly basis, and it's easier to plan out how to be able to build wealth. But remember the number one rule: pay yourself first.